I reckon I'm seeing more people like get involved in fitness than I've seen
100%.
since being in the industry. So the last 6-7 years now.
Run clubs are the new Tinder, bro.
Right. Seriously.
People are meeting people at run clubs instead of at nightclubs. It's hectic.
It's actually that actually is really cool.
It's taken off so much pressure because getting into the industry too, it was always about looking as big as possible, as jacked as possible, I think. And I felt that pressure. Like there were times, I don't feel the pressure as much anymore, but I felt that for so long because I was like, I need to look a certain way as what's perceived as a PT or a coach. But now so many are drifting. There's so many coaches, and good coaches, might I add, who aren't taking that bodybuilding approach, but they're deep into endurance performance and they're competing in triathlons, Ironman events, everything. That I look at that and now I'm starting to drift more towards that, and it feels like awesome. Like I'm not looking at myself in the mirror, perceive it as you need to look this way. I'm like, how am I performing? Like, how do I feel? And the last year to 2 years, I haven't enjoyed my training nowhere near as much as what I have in the whole 12 years of training combined.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because at the end of the day, like you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%.
Are we good? Are we gravy, Cooney? You look good today. So do you. Look at that.
Thanks, brother.
Guns out.
Yeah.
Holsters on the belt too. You need them for those.
Brother, it's hot today.
It's hot. It's good.
The last week has been like mid-range, would be like 24, 25.
That's a nice singlet you got on there too. What brand is that? Is that a hybrid singlet?
One of our new drops. I would get up and walk around, but we're on a podcast.
Looks
we're not on bloody movie set.
Looks good from here.
Although with this setup here, it is a little bit like a movie set. Look, illuminate.
Hey, look at that.
Nice little hybrid HQ down the back. We got hybrid headquarters in the middle, and then we have two other designs that we've put out there, which we're keeping it in-house. So come join the gym, and then you can get a singlet. Nice little plug. How good. No, we are, but
I mean, the beauty of that too, you don't even have to stand up because it's good standing, sitting, sleeping. You could wear that probably anywhere.
We did something a little bit different, and I'm
versatile.
I don't want to give away our secrets as to how we sourced these bad boys, but we made sure that it was top quality.
Oh yeah, I would say the best in the world.
The best in the world is a big claim, but they're good.
Brigar, question for you.
Hit me.
Talk to me about some guilty pleasures. Or it can just be one guilty pleasure.
There's so many ways in my head right now that my brain has taken that question. Are we talking about sexual pleasures?
Take me wherever you want to go, mate.
I'll follow you. Nah, mine, and it's actually been from this week. Oh my God. So I'm doing a bit of a build at the moment. Still keeping my run work in there because we're leading up to Adam's 100-kilometer run.
Massive.
For him, that's that's massive for anyone. I'm not doing 100 Ks, but I'm going to
give it a red hot crack. We'll get some Ks in there.
I might try between a half and a full, somewhere in there. I'm going to try and
huge.
Yeah,
I like that.
The main point that I was talking about was I'm doing a bit of a build. Calories,
a couple of naughties.
Yeah, the calories are up, which it just gets me going. I'm locked in this week with my nutrition and my training proper. And when I get to the end of the day and I haven't eaten enough, my go-to this week has been, shout out to my sister actually. She got me onto peanut butter ice cream at Coles brand, right? You know how they have like the premium range?
Yeah.
You pay $8 for the punnet, which is like, I think it's a kilo, which is pretty good, to be honest.
Is it a punnet or a tub?
Well, a tub, maybe. I just make shit up as we go. It's like our podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
6 again, let's go.
Between 150 to 200 grams, load that in, and then I couple it with Cocoa Pops checks.
What?
Yeah, Cocoa Pops checks. So what I'll do is I'll like a little at-home cold rock. So I'm there.
A little dessert and breakfast.
Mashing up, like bang, bang. Tay's trying to watch the TV. Shut up, why are you making so much noise? Because I'm there going, doing these ones, making myself an at-home cold rock. That this week has been my guilty pleasure.
That's like a combination of good texture too. You're getting a little bit of crunch with it.
You need it.
Oh man.
Within,
I like that.
Within the peanut butter ice cream is actually little peanut butter cups as well.
Oh.
It's clutch.
I mean, I wouldn't know what that tastes like, but that sounds absolutely amazing. I've never thought of mixing cereal with ice cream.
Nor did I. And then I saw them sitting there and I just went, like,
have you created this?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's another big claim. It's like the best shirts ever. I don't know if anyone else has done it. If they have, you can let me know, and we'll do a bit of a collab. We'll say that we both did it.
I like it. I'll visually try that in my dreams. if I could eat nuts. But
Yeah, no, you would not cop that.
sweet.
What about you? Guilty pleasure? Are you going down the sexual route?
No, it depends how you look at it. This one I thought I'd gotten over, and then the last couple of weeks I found out very quickly that I haven't. It was my guilty pleasure growing up, and it's my absolute guilty pleasure now.
This is big. I feel like this
Are
is
you
like,
having a guess or like?
just feel like you've sat down like with your psychologist and spoken about this in the past.
I was sitting there and it just come over me at dinner, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like I'm locked into this. My guilty pleasure is WWE wrestling.
Oh, let's go.
I
go.
am still obsessed with it. I can't.
You and Dill the
I
Dominator.
can't stop watching it. Deal with Dominator. He's got me back, rocking the armbands. Growing up, I loved it, man. I was obsessed with it. Rey Mysterio mask on the trampoline, just wrestling the bears, wrestling anything I could get my hands on.
100.
I'm ready to invest in a trampoline again.
Oh, I was going to say,
I'm there.
let's do it.
I'll buy the belt. I reckon we get belts all in the gym. I reckon we set it up.
Strata might not like it, but I'm throwing out an idea. Anything external for the unit that we're currently in, outside of the premises, you have to go through Strata and all that stuff. But I reckon a trampoline in that front car park, the car spot.
100%. A couple of tag team matches. How would you not get around that?
And for members to be allowed access into the gym, they have to get in the ring, take one of us
100%.
on.
Bro, we're going back 2008. You got Rey Mysterio who's standing 5'6". He's probably like 75 kilos, and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Do not tell me a kid like me that does not give hope to. If he can do it, bro, anything is fucking possible.
And it's not even scripted. It's crazy that he was able to take
It's
down
so real.
Big Show. Like, there's only 140 kilo difference, but
I feel like you can't make that up. Like, that's just what it is. I've been going home lately from work, and I've been flicking through the Foxtel channels.
oh, like you're watching current WWE.
The current's not as good. I've been watching the past a little bit more, but as soon as I put it on, I can't take my eyes off it. It's an absolute guilty pleasure. That's my dessert lately.
Don't talk to Dill about new WWE. Not a fan. For reference, Dylan, one of the guys in our gym, and he's like the WWE man, absolute
Diehard
legend, absolute legend, knows everything about it. But new WWE, no, don't talk to him about it.
All I'm saying, people who are sleeping on it, just watch a little past episode, maybe a little WrestleMania, one of the main events. Just
Royal Rumble?
see what happens. Royal Rumble's huge. I was watching that last weekend. Far out.
What a gist. Like,
Far out.
how do you can't watch that and know what's going on everywhere because
You just got
people getting
15
thrown.
blokes in a ring just getting after it.
I love it. And I love when the little leprechaun guy comes out. He's cool.
It's all happening.
Worms, what's his name?
Boogeyman. You think it's
Is it?
Boogeyman?
Well, I'm thinking Wormsquoggle. Is that a name?
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle, that's it. Worms?
You need to update yourself on wrestling. You need to watch a
Wormswoggle.
couple of episodes.
Well, dickhead, that's why it's not my guilty pleasure, it's yours.
So you can share it. I'll share.
I'll share my ice cream.
You can't.
You share we could watch fucking WWE with the peanut butter ice cream that you're allergic to.
Stop. It's a day.
This is mad.
Ask me out.
All right. Weird and annoying sounds, bro. Now, we spoke about this, and to be completely honest, I thought you meant we were going to create, yeah.
That is shit. You're right.
For everyone that just listened to that, I apologize for the last 3 seconds.
I actually wish I never told you what it was, so you would have just come on here and
You would have been like one of your answers, and I would have been out here fucking making weird noises. But we're actually referring to things that you hear that grind your gears.
yeah, I've got a few when I think about it. First one, just like in general, plover birds.
This suck.
Just like plovers, their legs suck, they suck, the noise that they make suck. They're just a shit bird.
They skip leg day, you can tell.
They do.
They do.
I always wonder if I like went up, if I had the opportunity to like flick one of their legs, whether it would break.
That's sadistic.
It
We're
is,
going to have
but-
Peter now hitting us up about our podcast.
So true.
And they're going, why are you hurting the plobbers?
Oh, it's,
To be fair, we walk in that complex where our gym is.
they fucking swoop you
There's a
for
family
nothing.
of them. I know. And I'm like, one of them came at me from like 50 meters away, straight at me. And I was like, brother, I'm not going near your baby bird.
They're a bit high end thinking that we care enough about that. Like they're like, oh, stay away from my eggs. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your eggs, bro. Chill out.
I'm just trying to get my steps up.
I'm just trying to walk around and they come here, be like, stay away. I'm like, oh, bro, that noise kills me. Absolutely kills me.
All right, this one fucks with me, and still to this day when I think about it, I squirm. Fingernails on a chalkboard.
Chalkboard should just be deleted in general.
I've sat with this actually for like years because I'm like, maybe when I was young, I heard it or I saw it. Yeah. Bro, still to this day, when I think about that, I squirm.
But why would you do that? And chalkboards are shit house anyway. Like they're just dirty and shit.
When we were going through school, they were like normal.
Yeah.
Right? But now they use whiteboard. They got like these fancy tech boards.
Yeah, the smart boards.
This is what happens when you turn 26.
So true. Mine's similar to that. Pulling something out of the freezer, like, you know when you have, I don't know, they still do it like from the butchers and you buy the meat trays and they're in like the styrofoam bottoms.
Oh, yeah,
like black styrofoam bottoms.
Oh, on like a bench top.
When you pull that out of the freezer and if the styrofoam like scratches some of the ice on the side of the freezer, oh my God, man.
Yeah. Squirming.
That makes me feel things that I never want to feel in my life.
That is what we call not a guilty pleasure, that one.
No, even just like, you know when you like walk on the sand? You will walk on sand with shoes, or like if you do it with your feet, but you push your foot into the sand and it does that like...
Yep. It's a sus sound.
That on snow too.
And you could be on the beach, you know, feeling good, looking good, bit of a tan.
And then you do that. I reckon that'd be pretty close to an ick.
Yeah, it's icked up.
That is icked up.
I reckon like if you were on the beach with Molly and you're locked in, Molly's locked in, ready for a mad beach day.
Bro, she starts having like a seizure when she hears
that. She's looking at you going, that's my boyfriend.
Yeah. And like when people get excited when they do it too, like they're walking, they're like, how good's this?
We're just making the sounds. I love it. Mine's one, I think this is so common. Fire alarms. Can't stand them.
Oh,
we had this one at my brother and I used to live together at Gosford, and it went off, and you just know. The more annoying part is like, there's no fire. Someone's done something stupid and burnt toast and has gone into the fucking fire alarm. This thing went off, bro, for like 2 hours. And then after like half an hour, we were like, fuck, we should probably like get out of the building, walk out onto the front street, and it's just still going. And it took the fire so long to get there. But I understand they're busy. It's not their fault. That is fucking annoying.
Yeah, when the fire alarms start running out of battery too, and they have this little weird like tick.
I can't even do it. I can't even do it. My voice is gone from
still smoking ciggies, brother.
Get off the darts,
bro. That little like tick noise, that's even worse than the fire alarm going off itself.
Yeah, I agree.
That sucks.
We used to have fun when I lived with mum and dad years ago. Like no one ever did anything about it. Like literally for probably 3 months, it would go off, like, and during the night, probably once or twice, it would just beep. And like, we all knew about it, but no one fucking did anything.
All you have to do is change the battery.
No. But it was like this unspoken thing. No one really spoke about it. Therefore, no one did anything about it. And then one day, I'm pretty sure dad like just got up there and was like,
changed it.
You guys been hearing this thing? I'm like, yeah, mate, for the last fucking 3 months. And I was probably young. I was like 17. So I was like, it's not my job to do it.
I love that. The palm off. And it's like, well, I can't get up there. Someone else do it.
Fucking entitled prick.
I love that. All right, Briggsy, question for you. What needs to change in the fitness industry to make it better at the moment? Coming from an opinion, of course. It's never facts, just always opinion.
The doctor guy who puts up videos on Bozu balls doing squats.
Don't even get you started on fucking Dr. Seidman.
There it is.
I can't.
That's actually not my thing, but I wanted to say that because I know how much you
eccentric, isometric fucking dog.
He somehow created a new movement pattern called eccentric, isometric.
It's not even a thing.
He's all over the place.
There's no such thing as that.
He did a
They're completely separate. But anyway.
Yeah, no. My favorite one was the baseball swing the other day.
The hand of the baseball bat.
Yeah, he made the guy take position where he was doing something else, some sort of exercise, and then like actually gave him a baseball bat.
Actually pulled out a baseball bat
in the squat rack.
Yeah,
to perform a baseball swing.
Sport specific, bro.
Sport specific, Joe. I've actually spoken about this with you, I believe, on the podcast. This weird fucking alpha beta mentality.
Oh,
that shit, man. Grinds my gears. Like, you can be someone that loves their training and get in the gym and hook in and be dominant and all that sort of stuff. But like, you don't fucking call yourself an alpha. And then when other people, because just what I'm referencing is I've seen stuff like on influencers pages and stuff and people commenting and be like, this is so alpha. And then someone will make a comment and then people call them like a beta, just meaning that they're not as dominant. They're less. I'm like, man, what the fuck is that shit? Like, do your thing, but don't boast about it. You don't even be that guy. Or that girl even. I've seen that shit as well. So
I think the biggest thing that I have an issue with that is exercise and training can make you a better person, but it doesn't actually always make you a better person in the sense of Like, you don't just start training and then everything else you do is warranted as okay. There are so many other things that you need to do in your life to become what I would refer to as a good person.
Yep.
That getting muscles or getting strong does not mean you just walk out in the road and then it gives you this sense of entitlement of, I'm now a better person than...
Superiority, 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that at all. Yep. If anything, you need to double down on all the other things outside of that because it just doesn't work like that.
But there's, I don't know, some weird gym bro culture mentality. And it's annoying because it's like all these dudes train and get heaps jacked and like, I think they think that maybe all the chicks care, but like the chicks don't actually give a fuck about it. But then it's just the dudes that froth on it. They're like, bro, you look that fucking good.
I saw this guy on Instagram posted and he put up a thing and look, he's in decent shape and stuff. And he's like, this is what you need to do in order to stop your girlfriend leaving you or something like that. He was like, train like me and do this. And I was like, there's actually probably other factors that go into whether your partner stays with you or not.
Treat her well.
Just like be a good person in general. Like that whole how much I bench does not correlate over.
No,
but if you do bench 100 kilos, then you can have anyone you want.
Yeah, apparently. That's what all the toxic masculinity guys will tell you in their little groups. Anyway, that I think for me, I think it's probably gotten a bit better. There was a weird period a few years ago where it was like hectic. Yeah. Like, and everyone was using those terms. And I was just like, fuck, man. Like, if I see someone that is more inexperienced with their training, but they're like getting behind it, and they're pushing themselves and they're wanting to be better. Like everyone fucking starts somewhere.
100%.
Right? Like it's in that first couple of years that we should be nurturing people more so. So then they get to the point that they want to get to, or they get to the size that they want to get to, or the feeling within themselves of the person that they want to be, rather than cutting people down, but we can only hope.
Yeah, that's what I need to work on. Mine definitely ties into that. My sticking point that I think needs to change in the fitness industry is minimizing absolutes. Yep. People, it's become such a thing on social media now, and it's because it sells, because it grabs people's attention, buying into absolutes and extremes of things. So for example, exactly what we're talking about, fucking Seidman, like selling that as eccentric isometrics, like these half range of motion reps are the only way to train and the most optimal way to train, and everything else that falls out of that, don't even look at it, don't touch it, don't think about it.
Because there probably is a place sometimes for some of those things.
Potentially in a very, very, very small spot.
When I'm saying some of the things that he does, certainly not the videos that I just referenced before.
Nutrition, like you have people who jump on and they're following keto, carnivore, vegan, whatever it might be. Some people have their reasons for doing it, and that's completely fine. But the problem that I face with it is people will jump into something like this. So say, for example, they do keto or they do carnivore, and then they belittle every other way and say, this is the only way to achieve X, Y, Z results. Everything else does not even qualify close to it.
The Liver King special.
Liver King special. That stuff for me personally really frustrates me because I'm not anti any of that to a degree. There's some things that I look at, I'm like, yeah, like I don't really agree with. But at the end of the day, so much of it is individualized that if it works for some people, that's fantastic. But what we need to normalize in the fitness industry, again, in my opinion, is looking at all of these things as simply tools, and potentially taking little bits from little things and figuring out your own roadmap of what works. People want that like absolute, just one thing that they can grab and gravitate towards and just hold and go full extreme into it. But by doing that, they end up sacrificing so much potential for all these other things, and they sabotage relationships and being able to train an effective way too, as opposed to just looking at it and being like, okay, well, what bits and pieces can I take from different things, combine that to what is most optimal for me.
Yep.
So if someone goes, oh, I want to try a little bit of carnivore, I'm like, okay, well, sweet. Like, see how you feel about it. But that doesn't mean 10 other ways doesn't work.
Yeah.
If that works for you, fantastic. And if these people in the fitness industry are saying, hey, I follow carnivore, I feel really great on it, this is what works for me, feel free to try it. But I'm not saying it's the one-stop shop. I'm not saying nothing else works. I'm just saying this felt good for me. I'm like, okay, sweet. Like they're entitled to an opinion, and they're putting out something that worked for them. Of course, they're going to preach that. But when people use that as a marketing tool to be like, this is the answer. This is what's been missing the whole time. This is what you need. That marketing ploy and just brainwashing individuals into it. There's no wonder where people don't even know where to start in the industry because there's so much fucking information that's confusing and everyone's saying, this is absolute 100% the only way to do it.
For sure.
How can it be that if 100 people are saying 100 different things as the absolute thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. And then you got group A over here saying carnivore is best, but then this approach is best.
And all of them are following and getting results. If that doesn't answer it itself, saying there's multiple ways to get to the end result, we need to start just pushing that approach, that idea, that ideology to people more.
I want to make sure I articulate this well, but for someone that's uneducated in the realm of nutrition, training, trying to change your body composition, all those sorts of things, that world can seem complex. 100%. I do understand that. And what's frustrating is that when we strip it back to the things that matter and the key markers that's going to actually bring change to the body, it's really not that complex. Like enough movement, your calorie intake, adequately training resistance enough times per week, running, all that sort of stuff. Like when you really strip it back to that, it is simple, but then you've got people, like you're saying, that are pitching that this idea is the only approach that you can take. If I'm uneducated and I've got these different groups saying the same thing, it would be frustrating. It would be hard to wrap your head around.
It's both a gift and a curse with the choice of mentality. Of it can be a curse in the fact that, oh my God, there's so many different ways to do it. This is overwhelming. I don't know which way. But it can be a gift if you choose being like, holy shit, you're saying that I can try 10, 15, 20 different ways and I can get similar results on all of them, or I can try all these and at least get a decent amount of results. That's fucking awesome. I can try multiple different things. How good's that? So I think there's a choice in mentality towards that too, but it's guided by the right information. And that's what I think needs to come more in the fitness industry. Individuals like us in this space, we need to keep preaching that message so people are confident knowing that, okay, yes, there's a lot of information, but give them the right information and not absolutes, but rather give them little key ideas, tips, and then allow them to make the informed decision based off what works for them.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you is like those things, in our opinion, need to change, but there's obviously a lot of good that's going on in the fitness realm at the moment. What do you think needs to be, whether it's doubled down on or, making sure that we're keeping these sorts of things in the space?
Big one at the moment. It ties very well into our name, but again, it's been used as a marketing ploy, so a lot of people have had backlash with it, but this whole hybrid approach. Hybrid is nothing new, it's nothing special in particular, it's a cool name, it sounds cool, but a lot of people have been doing it in multiple modalities and sports for years. There's nothing new about it. What is cool about this now is hybrid training has become really cool, and a lot of people are wanting to do it, which if they want to do it for the title, fantastic, go nuts. But the underlying is the fact that people are getting out and training more, but they're also running. They're also doing conditioning. They're getting out and trying different modalities. Whereas before, there was a massive separation between bodybuilders don't even associate with runners, or powerlifters don't even look at going for a walk of anything that's over 100 beats per minute because it's considered cardio. And there was so much separation where now I think those lines are starting to get blurred a lot more, and looking at just exercise as a whole of any sort of movement is good. And the fitness industry is starting to jump on that now, and they're using hybrid as a way to market it. But like, I don't give a fuck about that because it's cool. If it's getting more people into training, I'm like, sweet as. So now more people are looking at it, some from a performance standpoint, some from just a fun standpoint, that they're including some form of resistance training and some form of running, conditioning, walking, cycling, swimming, whatever it might be, into their week. It's bloody fantastic. Like, it's awesome. I think we need to double down on this and keep pushing that message as opposed to trying to separate these modalities too much. And again, people can specialize in their sports. That's fantastic. Go for your life. But people, for the general pop who are just trying to get into some sort of training to remain healthy, I think the direction it's going in at the moment is fantastic. I think it's awesome.
I agree. 100%. Training or being diverse in like multiple different components of fitness, I think you feel your best as well, because you're like, yeah, it is cool. And you're, I don't know, tapping into areas of yourself. I know for me personally, always played sport and stuff growing up, but then like was just heavily focused on like hypertrophy based training, trying to get a bit bigger for years there. And it can become monotonous. So I still integrate that style of training, whether it's in different phases of training that I'm in currently, but being able to see what my body's capable of, in a cardiovascular realm, and then pushing myself in the gym, pushing strength numbers, all that sort of shit. So I agree. I think what's happening at the moment is a good thing. And I reckon I'm seeing more people like get involved in fitness than I've seen
100%.
since being in the industry. So the last 6-7 years now.
Run club's the new Tinder, bro.
Bro, Seriously.
People are meeting people at run clubs instead of at nightclubs. It's hectic.
It's actually that actually is really cool.
It's taken off so much pressure because getting into the industry too, it was always about looking as big as possible, as jacked as possible, I think. And I felt that pressure. Like there were times, I don't feel the pressure as much anymore, but I felt that for so long because I was like, I need to look a certain way as what's perceived as a PT or a coach. But now so many are drifting. There's so many coaches, and good coaches, might I add, who aren't taking that bodybuilding approach, but they're deep into endurance performance and they're competing in triathlons, Ironman events, everything. That I look at that and now I'm starting to drift more towards that, and it feels like awesome. Like I'm not looking at myself in the mirror, perceive it as you need to look this way. I'm like, how am I performing? Like, how do I feel? And the last year to 2 years, I haven't enjoyed my training nowhere near as much as what I have in the whole 12 years of training combined. Which is awesome because at the end of the day, like you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think that can definitely stay.
What do I think though is the question, Jaden? You've had your little chirp. All right. I get excited, mate. I'm fucking locked in.
Locked in, I'm hybrid.
Fucking dickhead. I reckon what the fitness industry needs more of is, I don't want to say facilities like ours, but it kind of is that. Yeah. And I say this because there are actually multiple facilities now, especially on the coast even, that do take the approach that we do, where you're not signing up to a gym and you're coming in and you're just training and just hoping that you're getting the results, but you're coming in, you've got yourself access to programming, you've got yourself access to coaches that are going to be able to guide you and advise you on the best direction to take, how to get the best results, even handling the nutrition side of things. I fucking love our gym model so much because I think it is so needed in the space. The amount of people that have come to our gym and obviously have been with us this whole time because they're like, I'm happy to pay a bit more because I'm getting so much more in return. Like I'm able to learn and understand things that over like a 3 to 6 month period that I probably wouldn't get for 1 to 2 years by myself,
100%.
So I don't want to boast about what we do, but I'm fucking proud of what we do and the model that we run. And I think more of that, more educational based spaces is what the fitness industry get more of.
I completely agree. And this was actually going into my next question, which you said, because the way we've set up our gym, I would say we're actually pretty close to a 50-50 split. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but with guys and girls in our gym, I would say it'd be getting pretty close now with a lot more females signing up, which is exactly what I wanted to talk about, because even going from that divide that we used to have where it was very much seen as like the gym was a place where guys went to build muscle and girls would typically do the conditioning side of things. So going for runs, doing things like that, maybe some classes here and there. Those lines are starting to get blurred where there's this almost like crossover where a lot more females are getting into the gym to start lifting weights. Guys are starting to transfer over and do a little bit more running and cardio, which is fantastic. But what we've essentially done as well, we are super passionate about this, is getting more women involved in resistance training or just strength training in general.
Yeah.
There has been such a divide from that for so long, and that was fuel on our fire to make sure that we created a space for that too, because we wanted to try and think of ways how we can create a space for women to feel more comfortable to train like that. And I think we're on the right path of doing that, because lately as well, the amount of women that are coming through our gym and just seeing females in general training at the gym now is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
100%. I just love it. So
I think it comes down, there's like so many layers to that as to like how you encourage more of that. The feeling that females get within a facility, I think, is number one, because there probably was years there where ladies were intimidated to go into, and not all ladies, I understand that. It's the same for guys.
Rightly so. There's guys that are intimidated to go in because of other guys too.
Yeah. So it's like creating, again, environments where that fucking ego bullshit is actually left at the door, and we've said that from the start with our facility, and we've been able to hold true to that, because if there's ever been anyone that's come into our space that is like that, like we kind of just guide them in another direction, or, like we're not about that sort of shit. We're about a welcoming environment where people do feel comfortable. And we see that now with the relationships that are in the space. So yeah, I think providing a platform, providing a safe area for ladies to come in and want to tap into that potential for themselves.
Two main ones, man, environmental and educational.
Yeah.
creating the environment where they feel safe, comfortable, and confident, but educational as well, breaking down that whole, I don't want to lift weights in case I get too big or bulky.
Yeah, 100%.
And it just comes from an educational thing. And rightly so. That was what was preached years ago. And there was a different way of them approaching it. But we're starting to break down those old beliefs and habits. And I love it, man. I love it so much. I love seeing how many strong women we have in the gym training at the moment. It's awesome, man.
Just seeing Megan ripping those sumo deadlifts.
Half stronger than us.
Yeah, 100%.
They're crushing it.
Yeah, I always, it's a funny one, like, not wanting to get bulky. And I can understand where that thought is coming from, because if we want to get bigger, if we want to increase muscle density, like, we need to resistance train. And so you're coming into our facility where you're going to be throwing weights around. Oh shit, maybe that's going to happen. It needs to be coupled with a calorie surplus for a very extended fucking period of time. If you utilize resistance training with a maintenance intake, or even a deficit if you want to try and drop some body fat, like, that is what's going to create the body that you want. So it's an educational thing for sure. And I think with our model and our approach, like, we get that opportunity. Like, when people come into our gym for consults, like, we're able to explain that to them. So again, having facilities like ours, man, like, again, I don't want to boast about it, but I think it's sick what we're doing. It is different.
And then when women, besides the outliers of specific female athletes, if women actually look at how many other women resistance train and how many of them actually get bulky, I guarantee the amount is very small.
Yeah.
Very, very small.
Yep.
Outliers of athletes, very different ball game. The amount of people who are just training gen pop, it's a very, very small number.
Yeah. And those, like, a lot of I think social media is, like, good and bad for this, but a lot of those females that we see on Instagram, they might have those great shapes, but they're probably training like 4 or 5 times a week, like resistance training. So I think if it's paired with the right training volume, load, all those sorts of things, which that's why you get a coach, couple that with just the appropriate calorie intake.
And you're still not going to get bulky.
Yeah, because we've been trying.
Try your hardest, and I guarantee you probably still won't get bulky.
We've been trying for like
12 years.
12 years now.
So still not. Quick exercise selection tip. Give me an exercise, Brigger, that you put in your program and why.
Good timing for this question. I've just started a new block this week. Going to be focusing on getting a little bit bigger over the next 8 to 10 weeks, coupled with some performance goals with my run work. And so with that, because I'm running 3 days a week, I want to be mindful of my training volume. So on Monday, I've got like a hypertrophy focused leg day. So I'm essentially trying to flog myself, trying to develop size in my lower body. And I still want to make sure that I'm not leaving essentially no stimulus for a 6-day period before I train them again. I do another session on the Friday, so I actually hit it today. But I am just mindful of the movement patterns and making sure that I'm not leaving myself too sore for my run work, which is going to be on the weekend as well. So the exercise that I've thrown in for this is a rack pull from just below knee height, pretty much knee height, supersetted with band and broad jumps. So I've got that in there because I'm coming into touch footy in, I think it's like 2 months time, 6 weeks time. So I want to start working on a little bit more speed work. So one of my running days is going to be focused on that. So I'm getting the sort of power development through that hip extension position, but I'm making sure that I'm not leaving myself too sore. So versus ripping it from like an RDL position or a deficit RDL, which that's my Monday session.
Yes.
So this is where like coaching is like fucking so important. And we have that, which is great, but just balancing that, you need to be smart with it. And for me, the rack pull and then the broad jumps are obviously the second part of that power development.
That's a great tip as well. Typically, we always talk about with making sure we execute full range of motion, but there is a time and a place to actually pull back range of motion. And when you're looking at movements like that, when you have a specific goal or intention with them, things like rack pulls, things like a squat to box are awesome for getting a high amount of stimulus, but minimizing the DOMS effect or the muscle soreness effect that you get from movements. So when you do have other sessions that are coming up, implementing movements like that where you can get a high quality return, but very minimal fatigue in terms of soreness, then you're on a good wicket.
Yeah, because obviously to get better at running, I need to do more of it, right? And to develop that skill, I want to make sure I'm as fresh as possible. And look, I'm in a position where from an aesthetic standpoint, I don't really want to build my hemis or quads up too much more. So restricting that range of motion for me isn't something that I'm fussed about because just getting jacked isn't the goal at the moment.
Love it, man. Love it.
What about you, mate? You got any little eccentric isometrics that you're throwing?
Little eccentric? Yeah, I got a little baseball bat superset here. Mine is an upper body movement. I've played with these. They've pretty much always been in my program or around a similar modified version of them. It's a deficit push-up. I think people still Push-ups are just such a fantastic movement. I think they're so overlooked and underrated because they're a bodyweight movement. People think if you actually get someone in a gym and get them to perform full range push-ups, chest to the floor, touching every time, I'd be very interested to see how many people can actually do. With a good controlled tempo, people would probably surprise themselves. It's not as many as what they think. Deficit push-up, it allows you to get into an insane range of motion. So by talking about deficit setting up, you can either set up 2 bumper plates on the floor, so typically like 15 or 20 kilos. So what's that? Probably like 2 or 3 inches off the ground.
Yep.
You can use a dip bar as well, so you can actually set that lower on a squat rack, and you can elevate your feet on a bench or a box, which we love doing as well.
Yeah, you showed me that, and that was hectic because there was a fuck around setting up deficits in the past. Yeah, I was like, I'll just put another plate. And then I was like, that dip bar variation was fucking sick.
You can set it up on that as well as you can set it up on dumbbells too. So the beauty of that with the dip bar or even the dumbbells is it keeps your hands in a neutral position. It keeps your elbows tucked in a little bit more, which can actually be quite shoulder friendly too with people who have issues with pressing movements. They're just so easy to regress and progress. And I think people can get so much progression out of them. Like, I mean, I'll typically do them either 2 ways. I'll load them up. So I actually put weight on my back. I'll increase the range of motion that I'm going down to. What was the last one that I do? I do it in a time-based manner. So I might do, as opposed to a set of 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12, I'll do 3 sets of 1:30 effort, as many push-ups as I can do in that time. And I break as needed, but it's an accumulation of reps like that. So yes, you have to push out more to get close to that failure point, but they're push-ups. Like, that's what you can do with them.
It's true.
And they're relatively safe. So I think people sleep on bodyweight movements a lot. As time goes on, my programs are getting more and more simplified. And I keep some sort of chin up or pull up variation, some sort of dip variation, and some sort of push up variation, all body weight movements. But I think being able to move your body weight, and then if you can add weight to it, is fucking badass. I think everyone should do it.
I agree. Full hybrid, mate. Locked into the hybrid.
I'm locked in, bro. I'm so locked in.
I feel like we need to reference the locked in comment. So we absolutely love Nick Bear. Maybe we should get him on the potty one day.
Look at that. BPN.
BPN, there you go. And I've got Kmart special, BPA free. So not BPN, but BPA free.
That's close enough.
Anyway, his content's mad, and he was down at the track, and he's like, you could just tell, bro, like he was fucking so locked in to this workout. He was doing a track workout, but he actually said it.
I'm locked in.
And he's like, it was like the camera actually wasn't there, but he was like, I'm locked in. Like, I'm locked into this training block. I'm locked into this track effort. And I was like, holy fuck, I need to go to the gym.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I need to get
out too. He locked me in. I'm still in lock from that.
And to be fair, this week's been fucking
We are locked in.
We're locked, ready to go.
We've got some huge goals coming up.
We've got some fucking pretty exciting things that we're working towards with the gym, and we've absolutely loved doing the podcast, but we are going to put it on hold just for a bit.
It's just a little hiatus. Yep, working on some other things, some exciting things for the future for the podcast when it's back.
So
Cool things coming.
we've still got a shit ton of content from all of this that we've done, and like, it's been so much fun, and we are planning on coming back to it, but we're just going to park it for a little bit, and we'll let you know.
It's not goodbye, mate. It's just I'll see you later.
That. Does that mean you and me as well?
No, I'm not going anywhere, mate. I'm locked in.
Hit us with your quote, bro.
All right, I'm going to leave you with a little quote going from this episode. I think this ties in really nicely to everything we speak about as a whole, what the gym represents and what we represent with our training. The inability to achieve perfection does not justify the excuse to execute casual sloppiness. I love this quote. I've had an issue with chasing perfection all my life, and sometimes pulling back from that can allow you to fall into this, well, little mistakes here and there, okay, or I can just give like 40 or 60%. Not the case at all. As much as I know I won't catch perfection, I do like chasing it. It keeps me driven and it keeps my effort nice and high. So that idea in your head, the inability to achieve perfection does not justify the excuse to execute casual sloppiness. It's just pure integrity, man. High standards.
I like that a lot. I think you have standards for yourself. I think we both do. And they keep us in pursuit of what we want to get out of this life.
Bingo. All right. Bring us home, Brigger.
Speaking of this life, the world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. On that note, we'll fucking see yous when we're back.